Hey guys, welcome to this quick video tutorial on how to create wealth and manifest money. I'm going to try to get through as much as possible here in the 10-minute YouTube time limit. So let's kick off quickly with my personal story. I studied and worked as an actuary for about 2 years, developed various other income streams, and then kind of left work and have just been traveling and working on business ventures that excite me ever since. And through my time, tons of personal friends and people I've met along the way, lots of people have asked me for help or just, to give them some ideas on how they can create that in their own life or at least start moving towards something similar in their own life. So I've decided to just kind of put it down in a video and gauge feedback from you guys. So some quick information here. I've been fascinated with self-development ever since I was about 14 years old. I have studied and used personally, and taught people personally many different types. And these are kind of my favorite technologies that I use on a daily basis. You may be familiar with them, you may not be familiar with them, but these are the kind of things that I bring and apply in specific ways to achieve results that I want. Okay, so how does what I'm about to teach you work? Well, the quick answer, the real answer is that there is no exact answer. Science just hasn't caught up or just can't explain this quite yet. It can't explain it to my satisfaction, really. And I come from a very scientific background, so it's not easy for me to stomach either. But I've always been very good at just, seeking out someone who has the exact result that I'm looking for, asking them how they achieved it, kind of putting my beliefs on the shelf and giving it a full-blooded go, and judging the results myself. So that's exactly how I kind of stumbled upon everything that I'm going to teach you guys. And I measure it all by the results. So for those of you who want to delve a little deeper and maybe uncover some clues as to how this does work, I would suggest that you investigate the distinctions between quantum and Newtonian physics. And there is a particular book that really opened my eyes. It's called The Field by Lynn McTaggart. She's a scientific journalist or scientific reporter, and she kind of collected a bunch of studies of unexplained phenomena by really leading educational institutions and combined those with modern theories of how the universe works and kind of try to explain them. So I highly recommend you check that out if you're interested in trying to unravel how this works, or at least a little bit more than we have time for here. So what's the magic formula? I'm sure you've heard this before from The Secret or any other one of those spin-offs. The magic formula is pretty simple. You combine desire for what you want with belief or expectation, and with that you receive inspiration in the form of what to do and how to do it. You take that action and it feels great and it works well and everything's just kind of in flow and you get what you want. That's the simplest, easiest way to explain this from a high level. I have some very specific steps using those technologies that I mentioned earlier to line this up so that it happens in a very predictable, efficient manner. Okay, so let's get into some of those steps quickly. The first thing that I personally do, and I've been teaching people, is to remove internal conflict. Because when you have a desire, you've got to ensure that you consciously want this desire and other than consciously want this desire. Since your other than conscious resources are just far greater than your conscious resources. And having your other than conscious resources sabotage what you want consciously just will kill the process right there. So that's very important, and I use energy psychology to deal with that very quickly. EFT, TAT, those kinds of things. The next thing you want to be able to do is get into a state of whole brain thinking. What I mean by that is a state where both your left and right brain hemispheres are synchronized and you have a fully conscious access to your other than conscious resources. To do that, I use a combination of a kind of very fluid, I would call it a hypnotic induction, but it's not really that, combined with some brainwave entrainment tapes, and that'll get you there just, almost instantaneously. And when you're at that state of focused thought, you then communicate your desire and belief. And at that state, this communication is just far more powerful. Jose Silva used to say that at that level of whole brain thinking, your thought forms are at least 1,000 times more powerful than normal. Okay. Next up is gratitude. I learned this from Wallace D. Wattles, and in his book called The Science of Getting Rich. Highly recommend the book. I think it's free of its license now, so you can download it for free on the internet. But adding gratitude in there just kind of supercharges and makes everything work quicker and faster somehow. I like to place this goal, I guess, into my timeline. And what I mean by that is, in NLP, we're taught that your brain organizes time in a very specific way, organizes the past, the present, and the future. And what you want to do is elicit where your mind places your past, where it places your present, where it places your future. And then be able to take this goal while you're in the state of focused thought and in a state of gratitude, place it in your future, be able to associate into that future where this goal has already been manifested, be able to look back to the present, look at all the action steps that you've taken, and that's how you elicit the action steps, and then come back to the present in your mind timeline and take those actual action steps. So I find that makes the process just much more efficient, work much better, and it's a natural, organic way of eliciting action steps. And when it comes to these action steps, we're basically looking for steps that we should be taking that would be most efficient in achieving our goal. And by using this procedure, we're engaging our other than conscious resources. We're engaging the universe, I guess you would call it. The overarching controlling power, or just forces that can see far greater than we can consciously. And those kind of line up the coincidences and the action steps that we need to take to get this done as joyfully as possible. And the last thing that I think is really important is your real-time guidance system. I learned this from Abraham Hicks, and I think it's just fascinating. The basic idea is that your emotions guide you in real time and tell you exactly how you're doing in relation to what you're doing at this point, and in this context, in relation to your goal. So if you just simply write down your goal and read it out to yourself, how good you feel about that goal is an exact measure of how well or how congruent you are with your desire, both consciously and unconsciously, and how strong your level of belief is. So you can know at any time how well you're doing on the whole desire and belief thing, and how quickly this goal is coming to you right now. A quick note is, you're going to have to learn how to tell the difference, and this is pretty easy when you get the specifics down, between past associations and real intuition. Because we definitely have some associations from the past that could make us feel good or bad around a certain topic or action, whereas our intuition is not based on that at all. It's based on our other than conscious resources and other resources that are giving us information on what we need to do. So we need to be able to distinguish between those two. Okay, I think we just made it within the 10-minute timeline. Firstly, I just want to ask you guys to please comment. Tell me whether you like this, whether you don't like it, whether it rings true in your personal experience, whether it doesn't. I'm very open to hearing your feedback on that. And if you'd like more information, please enter your details in the box below, and I'll send you more cool stuff. Cool. Cheers.